Hello, everybody. Welcome to Winter 2017 at Foothill College. This video will be a brief, hopefully brief, overview of the syllabus, how it is structured, and I will make some key points in some of these sections in the syllabus. Now, I will be using the same video for both my Accounting 1A and my Accounting 1B classes. The structure is similar, the contents is obviously different, but generally speaking, the overall approach will be the same. Now, as you can see, the first thing I'll make a point of will be the 5 units. As you can see, 5 units means 5 hours of lesson, which usually means reading, viewing videos on the chapter content for every specific week. It also includes maybe reading my lecture notes. Now, in addition to these 5 hours of lesson time, you will also be doing 10 hours of homework reinforcement, such as I said, phone homework, quizzes, and then also at times you'll be doing some of the exams as well. So plan on carving out approximately 15 hours total per week per class or per 5-unit class. In terms of my communication or my contact information, as you can see here, it says navajose@foothill.edu. That is the email that you can use to reach me if you're not able to, for some reason, you're not able to log into our Canvas site. But if you're able to log into the Canvas site, then there should be no reason for you to use email. In fact, I prefer you not to do so. Email is way too much messages that I get, junk mail especially, and it clutters, and I lose emails from students if that's the case. I'd rather keep it within the inbox section of your Canvas site, which is on this side someplace. Oh, here, right there. That's your inbox. If you have content or chapter questions or comments or responses to your classmates' questions and comments, you should do so in the discussion threads, which are going to be part of each of your modules for each chapter. If you scroll down the syllabus, you will see that there is a course description section that gives you the overview of what is covered in the class. For Accounting 1A, there are no prerequisites. And for Accounting 1B, you will note that you will have Accounting 1A as your prerequisite right there. Both classes are UC and CSU transferable. If you keep going down, this is Accounting 1B at the moment, you will see that the outline of the course. For Accounting 1B, you've got these parts. I call them parts because that's sort of the way that I chunk the course. For Accounting 1B, as you can see, the first 3 chapters are going to be part of your exam, midterm exam number 1. The next 3 chapters will be midterm exam number 2, and then the final exam will include the last 2 chapters, and in addition, they will include also the theory from everything else that you've covered up to that point. We'll talk more about that in the upcoming weeks. For Accounting 1A, similar approach. For part 1, we're doing the first 4 chapters, including actually also a practice set, which is our project for the term, and then we get into midterm exam number 1. Part 2 includes the following 3 chapters, chapters 5 through 7, and then part 3 will be the last 2 chapters. In terms of what is offered in the overall department, I have listed here many of the courses that are offered through us. We have a very comprehensive, probably one of the best programs in a community college in the country. At least that's what we've been told, and so we're pretty proud of it. As you can see, 1A, 1B, and then 1C later are the core classes, are also the prerequisites for a lot of these other classes later on if you want to take these. If you want to know what I'm teaching aside from what I'm teaching this quarter, you can always click on this schedule link. if you want more info about the program, you can look at into that other link right there. Let's see, in terms of the actually course type, this is a Canvas-based class, so you obviously need to be in Canvas. You need to learn how to log in, and so if you need that kind of information, you can always go to this link. Now, you can always find this syllabus, a copy of it, outside of Canvas. So many times, if you're already in Canvas, then you don't need this information. But if you're not, you may find these links useful, especially the help desk, if you need some help with Canvas. There's also a secondary website that we'll be using from the publisher. It comes bundled with your textbook. It's called My Accounting Lab, or MAL, and this Appendix B shows you how to register. You are going to be using My Accounting Lab through Canvas. So the way it's set up at the moment, it is integrated, so you don't have to re-register for everything as you used to in the past. And assuming you've actually have done this in the past, it's much easier using it through Canvas. I'll have another message later as to how to approach the registration into our MAL section. But for now, just keep in mind that MAL is part of our textbook purchase, which is right there. Again, this applies to Accounting 1A, 1B, 1C. Same textbook for all 3 courses, at least in this academic year. That means you buy it once. You have both the textbook, the printed textbook, the e-text, and also the access code to My Accounting Lab. That's where you take the exams and homeworks and so on. And so you should go to the Full College bookstore to buy the book, and you're going to be all set up. Now, if you happen to, for some reason, not need the printed book, you can use this option B. You can do so through the registration process that, again, I'll send you later in a different video. Or if you actually have the book somehow, printed book, and you don't want to buy the whole bundle again, you only need My Accounting Lab access code, you can use this option C here, and so you can do so again through the same registration process that I will talk about later. Here I'm showing you the chapter coverage for each class that is under this book. And in Accounting 1A, we're covering chapters 1 through 9, 1B 10 through 17, 1C will be the last chapters in this book. Here's a little more info on how to register, but again, I'll send you some other info a little later. As I said before, you do not use email, but if you need to, you can always, well, I'll just say just use inbox in Canvas, period. That's the best way to keep track of things. Any questions regarding the chapter modules, your reading, the homework? It will be part of your discussion threads. You can ask them there within each of the modules. The class runs from Monday through Friday, and there's a cutoff day time of noon on Friday, meaning that anything beyond that time each week, don't expect, or don't rely, actually I shouldn't say expect, but don't rely on my response until probably the following Monday or the following Tuesday. Obviously, I still sometimes come into the class throughout the weekend, but I do use that weekend time to do other work, and so make sure you understand that the class has a normal work week of Monday through Friday, and with a response time of about 24 to 48 hours. Although I'm pretty much I'm a lot more responsive than that. I'm much faster. Read the next sections here on your own. There will be, this is more information about the type of assignments you'll have in the class. If you need that information, go there. Here's the grading for this class. Now this is Accounting 1A, as you can see right there, and you have to log into the class at least 3 times a week, once on Monday, and if you do so for 11 weeks out of the 12, you will actually have logged in 33 times, which means you're going to earn 33 out of 33, 100% of these 5 points, which is attendance. Participation is a little different, is actually at least one posting per chapter per week. It's very simple. You just go in there and respond to a question, or you post your own question, you respond to somebody else's question. It is my way to get you into the discussions at the very least. Obviously, the more you respond, the more engaged you are in the class, the more you will get to learn. And also engage with your classmates and create a network of people that you can actually hopefully rely on for other things in the class and beyond. And if you do at least 10 postings once per week, again, per chapter, you will have 10 out of 10 that will then earn you your 5 points, 100% of 5 points for overall in the class. So that would be 10% of the grade comes from attendance and participation. Then you also got 8 reading checks from 9. Each chapter has a reading check, which is a little quiz inside of Mal. And 8 of 9 count. Yeah, I will drop the lowest one, so only 8 count. 8 times 1 point will be 8 points. So 8% of the class is your reading checks. The homework is 8 of 9 as well, same thing. It says here 2 points, but actually it's actually 3. 3 points per homework. And again, I will assign you some items for your homework. They're both, I'll show you later down in the calendar which ones they are, but you're going to actually then drop one of those homeworks, leaving you with 8 times 3, that's 24% of your grade. There are 2 midterm exams. The first one, as I said before, covers the first 4 chapters. The next exam will cover 5 through 7. And so that's 2 midterm exams times 10%, so it's 20% of the class will be the midterm exams. The final exam is the remaining chapters with respect to problems. Theory portion, which means the questions themselves for just talking about that relate to concepts and frameworks and definitions, things like that, in very simple calculations. That will be comprehensive, meaning that it will cover all chapters in the class. But for the problem portion, it will be only the last couple of chapters. So that will be 28% of the class. And then there's a little project, as I said before, for Accounting 1A, 10% of the class. I'll talk more about that later. For 1B, it's a very similar approach. The textbook and everything else is the same. So here is the grading for Accounting 1B, same in terms of attendance and participation. In terms of reading checks, it's actually 7 out of 8, so that's 7 points. 7 out of 8 for homework, that's 7 times 3, 21 points. 2 midterm exams, that will be 2 times 13 each, will be 26 points. The final exam is 26%, same thing as in terms of how we structure the final exam, and then the project as well, 10 points. So that's the overall points for Accounting 1B, very similar approach as 1A. Here is what you see in terms of your grading. As you know already, the standard grades basically says that anything above 93 points or 93% would be an A, 90 to 92.99 is an A minus, and so on. And so keep in mind that there will be no bump ups to your grade. So take advantage of all the breaks and the possible extra credit that you may end up getting to get you to the next grade level. And if after all of that you still are at 92.99, that is an A minus. There is one exception. If you actually show some evidence that you deserve the next grade level, for example, I emphasize the final exam, since it's comprehensive, if you score at the A level, then that will actually give me the basis to bump you from whatever grade you got to the next grade level. So for example, sometimes for whatever reason people are maybe adding 2.99, they deserve a B minus because that's what they've earned, but the final exam shows that they did quite well, then they will be bumped up to a B. So that's one way to get your bump ups in case you're very, very, very close to the next grade level. The other way, at times, depending on the substance of your postings, if you go back to what I said in terms of your login, in terms of your postings, I am only asking for 10, but if you actually were to do, let's say, 30 or 40 postings that are substantive and that actually have helped others in the class, then that will be another reason for me to, or another sort of support and evidence that I can use to bump your grade up to the next grade level. Here are some other, this is another section in terms of course policies. Make sure you read this. It's actually quite important. Uh, so do take the time to read this, because I'm going to assume that if you actually stay in the class, you will abide by all these course policies, especially with the one regarding your company, no late work, no makeup work, the dropping the class, and so on and so on. Here's the thing about dropping the class. If you are not active in the class for any 1 week, I will actually need to drop you from the class. You have until as you see in the class calendar, you will have until the second week to drop the class without any grade, with no W in your transcripts. And then you have up to approximately week 8 to withdraw from the class with a W in your transcripts. Beyond that, I nor you can drop the class or withdraw anymore, regardless of your grade. And so if you do drop the class, make sure you officially drop. Don't leave it up to me, because at times I don't have a choice, or no, I don't have the access to dropping you. So it is up to you to drop the class officially through your portal account. No exceptions. Make sure you do that, okay, please. There's actually a tutoring resource that you can take advantage of. Here's the schedule. Look at that on your own. There's also some labs in case you need some software, some computer work. There's a transfer center in case you want to learn a little bit about more other colleges and that come to campus to recruit. And there's also some other services. In terms of the calendar, which will be next to the last thing that I'll say about the syllabus, is that it's structured very simply. It's by week, with the date of the Monday of that week as the initial date there. It tells you what is the coverage. For example, the chapter in Accounting 1B for week 1, you've got chapter 10. Plant assets is the first chapter. Reading check 10 is due by that Wednesday. So right away, in the first week, you need to be reading the textbook or the chapter 10 for that from your textbook by the very first Wednesday at 11. Everything is due at 11:59 p.m. And so there's also a bio, your own brief bio posting, and so that will be due on Sunday 1/15, January 15th. And then the homework from chapter 10 will be in week number 2. So here's chapter 10 homework. Well, they're both doing now, both the reading check and the homework. And then you read or at least you view the given information for each of these assigned items from your homework section. And I will give you actually the answer keys. You will refer to your textbook, these pages, and you will review the answer keys against each of these items from the given information in your textbook. And once you do that, you should be able to tell how the problem was actually solved by the authors. Now, then you go to MAL by the deadline at least, and take homework 10. You will be given these same items inside of MAL, but with different numbers. There are some other, as you take these homeworks, there will be other tools that you can actually use. Help me solve this, and videos and other things that are part of that window that will also help you, solve the problems. So, and then this is actually unlimited time, so you don't have to take it all at once. So you have time throughout the week to approach these. And so plan your work according to that process. In most cases, homework will be due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. So as you saw in the previously, the work week goes from Monday through Friday. That's the official week. So if you need some responses from me, you should post them before Friday. Then I'll probably post the answers by a day or two after that. Now, the ones that are posted by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll definitely get to them by Friday, latest by Saturday. The ones that I posted after Friday at noon, I may not get to them until the following Monday, which is too late for your homework. So I do encourage very heavily that you do your reading on Monday do your reading check as quickly as possible, and then get to the homework as early as possible to get some help. Let's see, midterm exam here date is will be February 5th. That usually exams usually open a couple days before. There's usually a work week day that I use, so usually Friday, and then it closes on Sunday. So you have like 2.5 days to get this exam done. So it's your choice when you access the exam. I'll give you more details on this later. For other cases, I may have exams that are actually open on Sunday and closes on Monday, because again, I always want to straddle both the weekend and at least one day during the week. So that's sort of the plan. So you have a little flexibility as to when you do the exam. But again, prepare and plan accordingly. I will release the instructions of the project officially by week 9, as you can see here. And at the end, you're going to deliver the project. This is 1B, accounting 1B. It will deliver the project by Tuesday of finals week, and then the final exam. That exam is always given to us and it's only one day, basically Thursday. Opens early in the morning, closes at night, and you have about 2 hours once you enter. So plan your calendar accordingly. For accounting 1A is very similar. Everything's the same, except obviously for the content. Chapter 1 is the basis for week 1. Chapter 2 is week 2, and so on. Notice that everything is due 11:59 p.m. unless otherwise announced or noted in the syllabus. And in most cases, your reading checks, your little quizzes, are due on Friday, and then the homework for that same chapter will be due on Sunday. Same thing. Advance your work, even though you have late week submission deadlines. I highly encourage you that to do your work way ahead of time, especially if you need some help from me and from your classmates, because it's not just me responding to your questions and your doubts, your confusions. It is also your classmates responding to you. So all of us need a lot of leeway, a lot of lead time to be able to actually respond to you in a timely manner. Chapter 3, it's kind of a challenging chapter, so I have allotted 2 weeks for that chapter. Chapter 5 will be week 5. Chapter 4 will be week 5, and then finally we're going to be doing the project and midterm exam in week 6. So I'm actually going to be, just for accounting 1A, as you can see, this project I will begin actually about here in week 2, and it will start building it up, and we'll deliver the final part of that. You're going to finalize the project in that week 6. Midterm exam number 2 will be on end of week 9, and the final exam is going to be, as always, at the end of the quarter. Finally, there's a few other things in here. Make sure you read the thing about the point system. Again, here's a little more about the bump ups that I just mentioned before, about teamwork and things about the calendar. A few other things here about the philosophy that I use to teach the class, and that is it. Hopefully that will give you a sense of how to approach the class. If you have any questions, you can always use the discussion forum under week 0. Take care. Enjoy.